Hello, everybody. This is the New Education Show, and we're here with Wendy, Sky, and her family. I'm Dean Val, here with Jeremy and Kevin and Ramon. But today we're interviewing Wendy and her family. So welcome, Wendy and family.
Welcome. Hello. Thank you for having us.
Yes. Would you like to introduce us to your crew?
Okay. This is
Hello.
This is
Jeffrey.
This is Raymond and the dog Oreo. This is Raymond. Say, I am Raymond. I'm Raymond, and then this is our dog Oreo.
Can we go get
the bunny? You can go get her. You can go get her.
Well, be careful. She'll probably jump off.
So we volunteer at a pet shop, and yesterday we adopted a.
And I.
Oh boy, kitty. Yeah, sweet. The kitty. They get along, the kitty and the doggy?
No, right now they're fighting.
Okay.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Let's sit, please, and listen. Willow wants to show you the bunny. It's almost her birthday, so I agreed to adopt the bunny.
Okay.
Just another family member for us.
Yeah, more the merrier.
The more the merrier.
Jeremy has a question for, well, let's do this later maybe, but let's do a little bit of interviewing the kids here. Maybe Raymond, can you tell us a little about yourself? You go to school, or are you?
No, I'm homeschooled by my mom. Well,
okay.
We don't really call it homeschool because more like life school because we're on the usual like curriculum.
Yeah, the bunny.
And I like Legos, pets, and cooking.
And marshmallows.
So that's about right.
Oh, you like music?
Just introduce yourself and give a few examples of what you like or whatever you want to say about yourself. I can tell Val and the others.
Okay.
Jeffrey, they're waiting.
Okay. You're introducing. I am homeschooled. I love cooking.
Great.
Playing with animals. Playing with Legos. I love watching movies. I like.
You know, Jeffrey, we have a spot for you. We have a movie review show. It's tomorrow. If you like to come on, if you get a chance to watch the movie Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio, you can come on our show and give your viewpoints about the movie. We have this movie review show every week on Sunday, and people come in and they watch the movie and then they talk about what they saw in the movie. So you're welcome to come if you have a chance, if you can see the movie Inception. You're welcome. So is everybody else here.
Okay, we've seen it, but I'll show it to them again today because it's been a few years.
No.
You introduce yourself. Willow, introduce yourself and tell them a little about you.
Okay. I want to go last.
No, you are. It is you now.
We are live. We have 2 million people listening.
2 million. Oh my word.
At least.
I really love Legos too, but I'm the more like I like the Lego Friends. The Lego Friend one.
Okay, let me see. Maybe you could speak a little bit into the mic a little bit.
And
Okay.
and my name's Willow. And I really love pets. They're one of my favorite animals.
What kind? Where are they? Look, where are they?
They're right there.
Oh, that one.
And
Eartha, she ran off. Oreo was trying to get to her. Tell them what else you like to do.
I like to play with love dolls, Barbies, and stuffed animals.
Mm-hmm.
And pillow fights with my brothers.
What?
Yeah.
Pillow fights with my brothers.
And how old are you?
And I'm about to turn 6 in 5 days.
6.
No, actually 4 days. You're gonna turn 6
days.
in 4 days.
Okay. Okay. It's nice to meet you. I think probably Jeremy and Kevin, Charles is here too. They might have some questions for you too. We'd like to get to know you a little bit better.
Charles.
Charles is here. Hi, Charles.
Hi, Charles.
Hi, Charles.
Hello. So what's new?
Well, we're talking to the kids here and seeing maybe you have some questions for them because they are well educated here with Wendy. They're homeschooled or life school, that is, and they're very much aware of what's going on.
Well, that's good.
Maybe we can learn something from them.
Well, it's been about, let's see, I used to be a school bus driver, but that had to stop at 2010. And in 2010, things were a little different. So I don't really know that I'm up on all the stuff that they're learning now. So they're homeschooled?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sure.
Wow. Oh, that's great. So, and so mom teaches you, or do you have other people teach you also?
It's mostly our mom.
Mostly your mom. Okay, that's good. That's hard to do. I admire you for doing that.
Yes, I'm very proud of her.
So am I.
So are we, yes.
That's great. Wow.
And Kevin, Jeremy, do you have any questions for the gang here?
Yeah, I got a quick question. Hello.
Look, Jeremy Figueroa. Uncle Jeremy.
I had to go get some.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I was just telling them.
I had to go.
That's okay.
Mama.
I just had a quick question, Wendy. Can you tell me a little bit about this life schooling? How does that work?
So, in a nutshell, it's that I teach and guide them with what's here on the planet, the phenomena, the circus, the politics, the systems, and etc. And then I teach them the in-between and guide them about senses, literal, oneself. It's really a combination of giving them all the platforms, but then guiding them of how to handle it within the mind and the body. Meaning, sit down. Oreo needs to go up, please. Oh, you have Bunny? Okay, that's not okay. We're doing something right now. That's not okay. So it's Willow, stop. It's what's going on in the world, what this world is, what the planet is, or what we know of it, all the ideas, references. It's the lies and the propaganda that they grow up in or could grow up in with being as a one-dimensional type of life of, go to school, go to college, get in debt, get married, have kids, and not really know why you're doing it. Then I teach them truths or ideas of truths based around, so if you think of the example of teaching a child, they grow up with one religion, right? Most children. But mine are schooled on all the religions, all the gods of man, all the systems, educational system, political systems, educational systems, the monetary system, social systems, all the systems that I've learned from coming to Duane's information and the Real Guide's information, all of those systems, and then providing references, movies, books, and etc. to help provide and get it across to them in an age-appropriate way. So it's a challenge, but it's a day-by-day thing that took time to get into the groove of with their ages and with their different personalities. So it's a convoluted, complicated, constantly chaotic type of life, but there is order to the chaos. There's an order to it because I provide a type of balance for them in a sense. So it's a wonderful thing for us, but it is not for everyone because we know of the way that many people raise their children. We're around some of those families. So, and then I've got to teach them and train them how to behave with other people. So there's a lot of training that's involved with that because if they're not taught or trained on ways to communicate with people, then it's going to hold them back, because I've had these experiences. So it's a lot of training, hand-holding, explaining, talking through, giving examples, and it's about all types of life things. Everything that you can imagine, I've discussed and gone over with the kids, and we still have endless to go. I hope that summed it up for you.
No, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you. I had another quick question. You mentioned that you came across Duane's information in the Real Guides. Do any of the kids have their own experiences with the guides?
Not so far. Not so far, no.
Not so far. Working with each one, with them knowing that mommy has been at this for years as well, I have presented the information to them. We've discussed it. We do dream journals. They run to me if they recall their dream in the morning. I'll casually ask them what they were doing and things like that. But at this moment, none have mentioned any type of image or meaning, like saying that they've seen the images of Rebazar or Gopal dolls. None have come to that yet. And that's okay. We're not, after all of that I've gone through myself in this journey for 4 years, I spent 1 to 2 years thinking something was wrong with me because I wasn't having specific things that other people were having. When I began to let go and decide this is my journey and it's going to be how it's going to be, I just let it happen, and I don't press them for anything anymore like I used to in the first 2 years. And that was to be gone through, and it was okay that we went through that, but it's not something I continue because I know that they have plenty of time to do what their journey and their path will be. As long as I keep their hands in the soil, they can lay the foundation for their life, and it will be how it will be. So at this time, none have seen specifically the Real Guides to be able to identify them as such. But then again, they're not yet of full ages right now where that type of recognition would be there. Do you see what hopefully you understand what I'm saying, because sometimes I know the presence of the Real Guides are with me, and I know that they were there in a real side experience, but I still yet have trouble with that part of awareness and recognition, or I used to rather. Now it's more of a knowing. So getting them to recognition, more awareness, and a knowing, that's going to take more time. So but none have come to me yet and told me, oh, I saw this Real Guide, or he told me his name, or he described himself as this. Nothing like that. Okay.
Well, that's wonderful. That's wonderful what you're doing.
Kevin, do you have any questions for Wendy and her kids?
Well, I was going to ask about the real side experiences, because that's the area that I find the most fascinating, having lots of real side experiences myself. So I was just curious as to the way they go about recording their real side experiences, the extent to which they can remember them, and indeed if they want to share any real side experiences they've had recently.
Please share one. We can start with Wayne.
I sadly can't remember any at the moment.
Do you want to get your book and remember one?
I'll go see.
Okay, and then we can put order. Jeffrey, you always have quite some vivid ones. Do you want to drum it up in your brain and maybe share?
It takes a while.
It takes a while. Willow, what about the one you had this morning?
I can't remember.
You can't remember? See, we struggle with that a bit, Kevin. The recalling, the sensor fighting the ego, and then that moment's notice they wake, and then they're like, Mom, I just remembered it, but
I remember.
You remember?
I remember that one dream.
Now,
So I
okay,
was over that
tell
one.
Mr. Kevin.
I was over at my friend's house,
That's right, that's
And
right.
then-
That's the one you told me this morning.
and then I went over to my other friend's house, going to someone else's house. And then I kind of felt pretty weird, thinking, is this the house? Then when I came back home, it still wasn't the house of my mom's.
You remember the rest?
And that's what we
That's it for that one?
Yeah.
Do you have any others you want to share?
I have one.
You have
Yes,
one? Tell Mr.
I
Kevin.
can take one.
Would you like to tell Mr. Kevin?
There was a cupcake flying in the air, and
Look
then
at him.
the cupcake was flying in the air, and then everybody was flying in the air.
We were? Was I there? Are you sure? What kind of cupcake?
Cupcake with rainbow cupcake.
Rainbow cupcake.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell Mr. Kevin. He's right there. Can you see him? You know that voice? Do you hear his voice? You know that voice I play in the background a lot on my phone when I'm listening to his videos? And y'all go, Mom, that voice again. That's him. That's him.
Oh, and it's like from my. I don't know what.
That's okay. What about that one you had two mornings ago? Oh, yeah.
And that's all. The end.
It's hard to keep up with all of
I
them.
had a really huge story with it. That's
Most of theirs are quite, sit up please, pay attention. Most are, they're, how would you describe your real site experiences? Basically, Kevin, hers revolve a lot around horses, unicorns, flying cupcakes. And Jeffrey's are usually adventurous.
No, usually horror movies.
Oh, usually horror?
Yes, usually.
actually there was a horror one.
Yes, most of them.
Wait for him to finish.
Most of them are, I don't know, walking around blood on the walls inside my dreams. It happens, but really sometimes it doesn't.
Oh,
Where it has an adventure dream.
oh, I don't recall any lately that have been like that. I'm sorry.
I just don't want to tell those ones.
Oh, you don't want to tell me those.
Yeah, those ones too much.
Well, do you want to tell us? You don't have to if you didn't want to tell me.
I don't.
You don't have to.
I forgot. It was about like almost. I don't know how much more.
Okay. Do you have any you want to share?
Um.
Just give a general sense to Mr. Kevin about how yours are. How does it feel when you wake up? Just describe what your real site experience is.
So when I wake up, I usually when I wake up, I usually don't remember it right away. It like takes 5 minutes, or I don't remember it at all, which is usually the case. But most of the time, it's like,
Mom, I don't mind if I go to the restroom.
Sure.
Most of the time I need to go back for a particular reason. Like I need to finish out what that real site experience was. I can't really describe the kind of dreams because they're all different. It's not like a pattern of a specific like theme of dreams. It's just like real site experiences that happen.
So when you said sometimes you have to go back, remember how I've told you I do that sometimes too?
Yes.
Sometimes he and I share a common thing where when we wake up, we will go back to sleep to go back in it and do some edits or keep finishing it out.
Sometimes I actually do go back in and like I don't control everything, but most of the time it's like you can control it.
Yeah.
Kind of concerning.
So does that help, Kevin?
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yes, thank you for sharing. Yeah, I have lots of real side experiences too. Mine are all like adventures and things of that nature. And like he was saying, I have a lot of sort of horror movie type experiences too, with zombies and things like that, and meeting all these various creatures and characters, and so on and so forth. And I have experiences too where I visit people in their houses. Because houses on the real side are the personal selves of that individual recreational side. So when you're entering somebody else's house, it means you have agreement to be part of their experience. So very often with your friends and family, you'll be invited into their houses on the real side, just as you would on the physical level. So yes, that's very interesting. Yes.
So that was good. That ties into what you did and you woke and remembered this morning. Another thing, Kevin, is that sometimes Willow and I will meet each other in the Greenland of the unicorns And we do, and we can recall that we met each other there. And we'll describe it in the morning, what it was like with each other, with rainbow rivers and rainbow unicorns and rainbow clouds. And she'll describe to me as I describe to her, and we've met there. So sometimes we have those. Those were very heavy when she was about 4. And she's going on 6. But since then, I've kind of let her just do what she's going to do. But we used to for about a year. We'd meet up together. And we'd meet there, and then we'd describe it in the morning. You remember those?
Mm-hmm.
You do?
I'm gonna do it tonight.
You want to do it again? Okay. Mr. Kevin. Sorry, they're wiggly.
We're worms.
Wendy, I'm glad you mentioned that some people don't have a lot of experiences, and that's okay. Like you said, you figured it out that it's okay. It's about awareness, and awareness comes in different ways. It's not necessarily through experiences, although we do get most of them, I'd say, from our experiences, but experiences also can be in different ways, come to us in different ways. So it can be here in the physical, real side, impressions, intuition, but all these things add up to becoming more aware and increasing our survival. And that's what you're doing here with the kids, I see, is just helping them to survive this challenging creation. And Willow and Jeffrey and Raymond, just keep listening to Mom, because she's a great guide in terms of helping you navigate through this. It's very difficult sometimes, life, but it can be fun too at the same time. But you're so fortunate to have the guidance. Such a great mom, and it's such a great environment to grow. I was wondering Wendy, did you see any changes in their real side experiences, especially Raymond and Jeffrey grew up?
So over the past 4 years, sure. But again, it's few and far in between. So if I were to put it on a scale, or not a scale, but maybe 3 to 4 out of a week they can recall. And even then it's snippets. And so as I described in that one show we had, sometimes with some of them, I've got to differentiate and help them identify, what parts did they make up as they woke? And they're pulling from movies or shows or something from another real side experience that's coming through at that time. So we do go through that identifying process, but still it's all in part of the creational schooling. It's all part of just becoming more aware how infinite and expanding everything is, but also how, yes, more so than just real side experiences. Yes, that takes time. For me and my experiences, they know I have been training myself for 4 years on my real side waking. The first few years were very stringent, meaning I would wake up at 3 a.m. and scribble, and then 6 a.m. and scribble, and I'd wake, and then around 9, I'd try to figure out what the scribbles actually said. I was trying to find meaning or guidance from those real side experiences, but all yet I was guided to where I would have the impressions during the day. I would have the moments of knowing, like, pop right there, and then it was right there, and then I'll go, oh my gosh, kids, oh, I just had it, oh, that's why, oh, this, Mom just got it. And it will be exactly what you described: intuition, things that pop in the day, in the physical life. And then there's more knowing that comes with that, and that expands the awareness. So more so than just real side experiences, there's day side experiences that come too. And there's also a knowing when you know life just guided something played out for you that you knew was created elsewhere but came to fruition in the physical. That's been happening a lot in the last 2 years. And I'll explain to Raymond, because he's a bit older, I'll explain to him and I'll say, did you see how that panned out? But I won't apply too much to it. I will just say, do you see how boom, 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 just specifics, not boom, boom, but just and he'll go, I can recognize that. I recognize mom. And that's what I base a lot of their life schooling around, is recognition and awareness. Expanding all of that, but being able to recognize things for what they are, they'll have a better foundation at navigating this school here on this planet within all the systems that they're being raised within, but we aren't really in those systems. We're somewhat off the grid compared to a lot of the other families we live around.
Great. I see we have 6 minutes to go. We have 40-minute segments here. So let me just ask Raymond, Jeffrey, and Willow, if you have any last words for us. Adults, do you have any words of wisdom or anything that we should know? Start with you, Raymond.
Look at them.
I don't know.
They're being shy.
No, it's 'cause I do have good ones.
So if you could tell an adult something, what would it be? What would you tell them?
Do you have any advice for us or suggestions?
I would say think about it before you have kids. Definitely. That's
Okay.
the number.
It's too late for me. I've got 4 myself. And maybe
Just
Jeffrey,
100% that.
you take Jeremy.
Jeremy, we have an uncle named Jeremy. Uncle Jeremy and Uncle Jane.
What would you tell them if there was something you could tell them about the life that you've been living so far? What could you tell them, encouraging or happy or just anything? What would you tell them about life itself, or living life, or your experiences so far? I know it's on the spot, right? It's okay.
I don't know what to think. I don't know.
But what have you learned? What have you
They're
become
asking-
aware of?
What did I come aware of? I didn't.
What would you say, Willow? If I tell you, then it's not coming from you.
Them, yes.
You want to go?
Just
Want us to
think
come back to you,
simple.
Let's go to Willow and we can come back to you, okay? Jeffrey?
What would you tell them of words of encouragement or advice? No, something else. Look at them. Come on. We have about a few minutes left. You can't remember? So
It's-
think of what do we go outside and do? Is there anything you could tell them about outside or about?
Grounding.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Grounding.
earthing.
Oh,
Earthing.
so what could you tell adults to do maybe? What do adults not do most of the day that we could encourage adults to do? What?
Yeah.
What is it?
Planting and grounding.
That's good advice. Maybe take their shoes off.
Yeah, probably take.
That's a good idea because a lot of
Grounding,
adults, we
plant.
don't see them with their shoes off. They're yelling at us to put shoes on, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time, yeah.
Most of the neighbors yell at us to put our shoes on.
Okay.
Oh, they're smart.
What else could you tell them about how mommy raises them?
That's great. I've never met anybody so young who knows about grounding.
But planting something, she's doing that out of just reacting, honey. But what could you tell them about the way you're being raised? Is there anything you could say about the way that you're being raised?
That.
But you had 2 great ones. Plant something. We all could plant something every day, right? So that's good. Could you tell them about what you plant or what you do when you're outside?
So when we're outside, I would probably go on the trampoline. I would probably plant something ground.
What do you plant?
I don't know, tiny little baby stuff that's on that mama plant tree. Which
I know you're caught off guard and I know you're being, he's he's talking
Yes.
very shyly.
Yes.
But that's okay. Tell them that something that mommy just went like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't know that when I was younger. I wish I had known that when I was younger. That you can actually take a plant and split it and put it in what? And it
In
will
water.
grow roots.
If you put if you split the plant and put it in water, it would grow.
Some plants,
Some
right?
plants.
And even in soil.
Even so.
So that
Thank you.
some plants you can multiply.
Thank you.
What else, Willa? What else could you tell them? Hurry, hurry. There's probably 2 minutes. Focus, focus.
Focus. Yes.
Hands to yourself.
You're wonderful. You kids are wonderful. Raymond, Jeffrey, Willow, you're wonderful. Thank you for being on the show. And thank your mother. Thank
What
your
do you
mother
say?
for having.
What do you say?
Yeah,
Thank
she needs a
you.
lot of thanks and appreciation. She does good work there. So thank you for being on. You're going to be famous, kids. You're going to be all over the world here. We're going to spread this great interview here with you. And I hope to see you tomorrow, Jeffrey, on the show. And you too, Raymond and Willow, if you want to come on to the Real to Real Wake Up. We'll
Thank
give
you so
a,
much.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Charles, Jeremy, Kevin.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Let me see. Do I?
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Nice to meet you
So
all.
how do I end it? Oh, there
Bye.
you go.